You know those trends that came out when we were younger that everyone just started joining because it was the hip and cool thing to do? Like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater came out, suddenly everyone wanted to be a skater boy. They bought a skateboard, they bought the skater shoes, skater clothing, skater brands, but they had absolutely no fucking clue on how to ride a skateboard.
So Legal Hubby and I are both neurodivergent, but I'm a bit more advanced on the socializing, and so he's not able to put a lot of his feelings into words, and so I've always been his voice for him, and so he approves this message. Okay, so first off, it's really weird to us that you would assume that people would only go out and buy skateboards and start skateboarding because of Tony Hawk. It's almost as if some people were like, oh, he's really cool, he makes a lot of money and gets a lot of attention, I'm gonna go and do that and learn how to do that so that that's weird. A lot of us, because we weren't allowed inside until the streetlights came on, a lot of us, we already knew how to skateboard and roller skate and stuff, and then Tony Hawk's game came out. You know what I mean?
Or how so many of you were listening to hop, hip, culture songs, and all of a sudden you hear, and all of a sudden I'm emo, I hate my father, I hate my mother, my family sucks, I want to die.
Okay, well, this is another situation of generational gap. I think we already knew that humans were vile and disgusting, and then when we got to our teenage years and we were able to listen to different kinds of music, that's when we found like metal and grunge and all that stuff, and we found people who had already taken our feelings and put them into words and made a song about it. You know what I'm saying? So it's not that we heard music and was like, yeah, you know what, humans are really disgusting. We already knew that humans were disgusting, and then we found music that matched our feelings. You see? Okay, so this is very important, okay? It's not that we found the emo music and wanted to be emo and wanted to unalive ourselves because of the music. No, we already wanted to unalive ourselves, and then we found the music. You see?
I only relate with Jack Skellington, so that's why I put everything Tim Burton.
It's because a lot of us felt like the Tim Burton characters, and so that's why we liked the Tim Burton movies and the Tim Burton characters, because like James and the Giant Peach, like, come on. Edward Scissorhands society was just a complete D to him, and he was a sweetheart. Like, come on now. Like, so we already felt misunderstood and hated by the world, and then we found Tim Burton characters, you know?
And then like real recent ones were like, where vaping became the cool thing. Yeah, yeah, this is so much better than smoking.
Well, a lot of us started smoking as children to try to fit into society, and then we picked up a filthy habit, and then they were like, you know what, actually these are really bad for you. You should probably switch to vapes. And so we did that because we still need our nicotine, because we still have social anxiety.
But I feel like the one that has most recently started becoming a thing is paganism. Norse paganism, to be exact.
Okay, here seems to be another misconception. The paganism thing, we didn't find it to join a trend. No. See, a lot of us were raised in Christian extremism, okay, and it didn't make sense to us. I mean, Sky Daddy didn't make sense to us, you know, but we looked and we saw the sun, and we saw that it gave nutrients to the plants, and so that made sense, you know?
Ever since Vikings came out, there's been a flurry of Viking weeboos. Yeah, man, I'm growing my beard so I can be like a Viking, man. Oh, yeah, so this necklace has a little Mjolnir on it. It's part of my heritage. Yeah, man, I totally just bought an axe and a horn, and I also changed my name to Hrothgar. Yeah.
So a lot of us were pagan before the Viking craze took off. The Viking craze took off because a lot of us pagans realized how the Vikings lived. You know, they respected women and they hated religious oppression, you know, and loved exploring the world and learning about other cultures.
Come out into the light.
Okay, so like, no offense or anything, but our experiences are completely different. Definitely didn't start doing them just because they were a trend, you know what I mean? Like,
You know, there's an actual bunch of Norse pagans that are just looking at this whole thing like, boy.
it's like, this is all the new Hocus Pocus. What, you guys hang out in witch shops and play with crystals, and I just think it's weird. Like, it's cool, do whatever you want to do, I just think it's weird. How do you not realize that that's making fun of somebody? That's the literal definition of making somebody. What? Oh my god, I have so many people to apologize to.
To clarify, we all end up doing this.
Look, I think the issue here is that some of y'all be stunting, and some of us are living. You know what I mean?
Now, just to clarify, if you actually are an emo, if you actually are a skater guy, if you are, you're all into those things, and you actually are interested in those things, and you're still interested in those things, then yeah, good for you. That's your thing. That's your belief. That's your way of life. But if it's the one that you joined, or that you know that people will join that you found kind of crazy.
And they're not trends to us, you know what I mean? So, like, no offense or anything, because our experiences are different, but, like, are y'all posers? Oh, so silly.